Activision has finally listened to their Call of Duty fans. They've heard the feedback and they've listened to the critique, and they decided, you know what? It's about time we introduce our first non-binary character, right? That's what everybody wanted? No? Oh, damn. Oh, okay, cool. I guess we misread the room on this one, but ultimately, though, whenever we talk about this in entertainment in general, specifically talking about video games, character designs like this would negatively affect the overall performance of a game. But in the sense of Black Ops, I mean, you look at it, Call of Duty's on its 6th installment in that sub-franchise. Okay, nothing is eventually going to stop this gaming juggernaut from rolling. Okay, Warzone is still going to be as popular as ever. It's something that we might be able to take a look back on and see as one of the first cracks in the dam. But over the past couple of years, Activision has been doing some crazy stuff. Remember when Nick Merckx, before he became even more vocal about his positions, his very common sense positions, if we're going to be honest, they got rid of him. They got rid of his skin, his operator pack for Warzone, for simply having the outlandish take of leave kids alone. I know, right? And in the long term, did that negatively affect them? Absolutely not. So it's weird, right? Like, they'll go ahead and they'll put this in there, and because it's not going to negatively affect their sales, and because everybody's just going to look at that and go, ugh, I'm not playing with that character. Only Activision is going to have that internal data as to how many people are going to be playing as Volta Rossi. See that it's very likely to be somebody played right there at the bottom rungs. But then, because, well, Activision's going to Activision at the end of the day, they can go out there and tout their great success. Their great success when it comes to having a non-binary character, and see, that's what we need to do with the rest of our franchises that are out there, because yeah, you've had unappealing character designs before. Picture not related. I'm talking about the wheelie that's down there, not Tattoos McGillicuddy who's looking to storm the local Target. No, couldn't possibly be meaning that. In a blog post, Activision shared that Rossi is part of the Crimson One. Oh, of course, which is a CIA op. Okay, now that's making more sense. Okay, this is being one of those inadvertently based Call of Duty moments, like when they had the Yuri Bezmenov speech to introduce Call of Duty Cold War. Is that what it was? That makes sense. Which is a CIA op that was initiated to hunt down the Rogue Squad. The team is officially stationed by the CIA, or sanctioned by the CIA, sorry, and has access to all the intel and tools to get the job done, made up of an elite Black Ops soldiers to get the job done by leading the imposing Jackson Kane. Yeah, okay, whatever, bro. I just look at that cast of characters, and yeah, I guess Klaus is interesting. Brutus, I don't know, man. Kind of looks like Edgy, the God of Thunder from, what was that, Mortal Kombat 11 when Raiden was bad? Or was that 10? I think that might have been 10. Cross between him and RoboCop, and then just shout out Mortal Kombat once again. Kind of looks like meat fucked Terminator, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool. But the rest of those characters, bro, they look as generic as it comes. Like, nobody has the same iconography as Soap, Captain McTavish. They look at Kane, Gray, Stone. I thought his name was Turd. Oh, it's Toro. I'm just blind. And it's like that's your characters. You guys are so reliant on guest skins and being grown-up Fortnite that you don't even care about your own in-house character design. That's cool stuff, because you look at Rossi there, and not so much as she's missing a gender to identify with. I'm thinking that she's missing a couple of chromosomes. Like, look at the way that those eyes are positioned, bro. It's nice to see that they worked out a licensing agreement with Goonies so that they could get Sloth in there as an operator, but what the fuck is going on there, bro? From there, it provided brief intel updates, yeah, on all the operators and the character descriptions. Yeah, the company describes Rossi using they, them, their, and them pronouns rather than he or she is. Yeah, yo, bro, I legitimately don't care. I've never played Warzone. I dropped off. Oh god, like the last one that I played all the way through was Ghosts, and that was just a fucking waste of everybody's time. Played a little bit of Advanced Warfare, and then there was the Kevin Spacey one, which I don't think I ever got around to. So yeah, it's a franchise that has long passed me by. I'm not saying that it's not hyper successful, because anybody who can just simply read numbers already knows exactly why Call of Duty, 2, getting into its 3rd decade, continues to be the lone annual release that everybody mocks, but still flocks to in massive numbers for. It's going to be a staple until the Battle Royale genre eventually does get too long in the tooth, but I don't see any signs of this slowing down. at least in the near future, especially with the rest of the industry just collapsing, so they can get away with doing crazy shit like having, tranny skins for your guns, having trans bullets, which is so crazy. I don't even know where to begin on that one. But this is Activision to its core, man. Just uninspired designs that just keep people around going, I really want that gold skin for my M4, or I want the fuzzy one that shoots the rainbows. It's like, bro, I don't care. I don't care. A lot of people don't care, but the game prints money. But it's made by people that don't see the long-term viability in the industry. They don't see every other smaller company, every other smaller studio. And in the case of Ubisoft, some juggernauts being brought to their knees by these terrible policy decisions. Because you've got the company's, Activision that is, a company president, Bob Kostic, has an entire statement declaring allegiance to the DEI ideology. On the website, he wrote, "For us to operate at the top of the games in both areas is imperative that we champion diversity, equity, and inclusion environment where everyone can show up as the best version of themselves, motivated and comfortable to push our thinking in all new ways. As we look at our player community, we properly reflect the diversity of our players and our teams and in our thinking in order to exceed their needs and expectations as they connect with our incredible games. The culture journey is one that never ends. We will strive to improve every day. Please press X to stand with Black Lives Matter before you can hop into a game." Remember when they did that cringe shit back in 2020 under the firelights of the riots of the Summer of Love? I do. This is an essential global team effort that will continue to refine together. Oh, how wonderful. And how we looked at it earlier this year as well, from the statements of the president to goofs pushing more inclusion in the game. Yeah, inclusive game design is key to our DEI roadmap. We know that when gamers are designed to include as many people as possible, our industry will grow to embrace all people. Outside of Call of Duty, what was the last Activision game that they released? Like, I know Blizzard shat out a couple of flops. Like, is anybody still playing Diablo 4? How's Overwatch 2 working out for you? Yeah, it's been a minute since they've done anything. It's just more or less, innovating and fortifying the last few remaining successful franchises that they haven't pilfered to the ground. Like, as much as I wouldn't want Activision of today to release it, but what are you doing with Spyro? What are you doing with Crash Bandicoot? What the hell are you doing with Prototype? I want another Prototype game. Those were fun as hell. Yeah, we talked about this earlier this year. Yeah, from Caitlin Mennel, you might remember that thing. Okay, is important that our games authentically showcase different cultures, identities, and lived experiences. Things that back in the cut, your average modern Warfare 2 lobby was definitely very sensitive towards. One example we're excited about is Catbat, Activision's first and non-binary character. Oh, see, take that, Volta Rossi. You ain't the first, but I guess you're the first non-binary without wings or something like that, which I guess could probably come in handy if you don't want to end up like the 41% of your compatriots. An escaped prisoner and antagonist of Dr. Neo Cortex. Oh, so one of the good people, because when I see a character design like that, that just screams high character individual. But it's shit like this that'll just end up tanking any future hope for the Crash franchise. You can only get away with these ideologies with these juggernaut titles like Call of Duty, because yeah, you can slip in that freak show in the middle of a squad that nobody really cares about when you have such brazen examples of woke demagoguery, when you have all your different skins that are out there for your different sexual disorientations. You can go ahead and put this human fire extinguisher, somebody who is accustomed to putting a flame to bed with their face and forehead. You can stick them in a crew of other goofy looking people and it'll pass the smell test, because most people aren't going to read the bios, most people aren't going to pick the character. And so this time next year, when we inevitably talk about the next Call of Duty or next major franchise that introduces another inoffensive, non-binary or gender whatever character, whatever the next buzzword is going to be, they can go ahead and tout the success of Black Ops 6 and say that it was a large part due to their very diverse, inclusive, and equitable character design, when in actuality, games of lesser stature end up getting pushed to the side. They have to rely on the old tried and true tactic of, I don't know, man, making appealing characters, because you got Shift Up CEO, Stellar Blade's development company, by the way, says he was following his instincts when designing sexy characters for Stellar Blade and Goddess of Victory Nikke. It's just something that users want or like and want, but I also do it because I like it. And exactly, I'm not somebody who's out there just wanting, you know, tits and ass hanging out all the time. I'm not one of those people. I'm kind of a prude in my regular life. I keep my private life private, especially when it comes to that stuff, because there's more than enough degeneracy out in the world, okay? I'm just saying, if I have the option between a Western developed character, hell, you got the Dustborn one off there and to the side, right? Like, you got it right there. Okay, there you got that ham beast there. Or you have the option of having that character right there. I know what I'm picking, bro, okay? Like Stellar Blade, still haven't played it, waiting for that PC port. Might check it out at some point in time. I hear decent things about it. I'm partial to the games that are just, I don't know, to make memorable characters, because for better or for worse, sex appeal, if you're trying to make a female character, very much plays into the longevity of that. Why is Lara Croft an icon? Why you run down the host of female protagonists from Final Fantasy and immediately have a connection with them? Because they're attractive. Maybe not outright sexualized, because you got, what, Aerith Gainsborough, who's arguably the most prominent female? Or you could you might even give it to Terra in Final Fantasy VI, and they aren't overtly sexual in the same way that, I don't know, Tifa would be. But like Nomura said, and we covered that before, he likes to make characters that are cool. He prioritizes that over everything else, and that's the way that the rest of the industry is approaching this stuff. They aren't trying to ham-fist any of their ideology into this stuff. They're just simply making characters, oh hell, that they might want to fist in a different type of way. It's having fun with video games, as opposed to those freaks that are out there that say, oh, you're just sexualizing women, but then at the same time bringing on sex noise experts in order to properly have that representation in games. It's like, bro, who's the real perverts that are out here? Like I said at the beginning with, you know, Call of Duty and their non-binary operator, it's ultimately not going to make a big dent in Black Ops 6, but further down the line, when we're talking about, if I'm fortunate enough to be alive that long, and still have an audience at that point, if Black Ops 16 rolls around and they wonder if they can go ahead and maintain any kind of stability, perhaps they'll start taking character design to heart. Perhaps they'll return to the old tried and true tactic of making memorable characters. And you know what that involves? Making them attractive, making them look cool, making them, I don't know, look like men and women that are out there, and not the lowest rung men and women that you can find at Walmart. I'd rather find my models on Saks Fifth Avenue, not scarfing down sacks of Lay's potato chips. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.